I mean, if you're a Bears fan, you're thinking forward progress. Come on.
10, 219, 219.
Forward Progress, a Chicago Bears podcast with Dan Bernstein and Matt Abbatacola on 312 Sports.
You get Forward Progress on 312 Sports right damn now as we talk Bears and NFL and veteran minicamp, mandatory minicamp that is open up at Hallis Hall. Ben Johnson spoke for like 15 minutes yesterday, and thanks to everybody who was pointing out the fact that was there not a single question following up on what Rome Odunze had to say about his foot not ever being the same again? Where was that?
Yeah, there was not. And apparently, I mean, we're making too much of a big deal out of it because it's not that big of a deal. It's a pretty common thing. Veteran guys have injuries. They get hurt. They recover. And then they have a new normal to them. And then they just participate and continue playing. So I don't know.
Especially when the Bears have a history of wide receivers with foot problems not living up to their first round status. So that doesn't bother anybody. Hello, that Rome Odunze said, yeah, that the bones and the structure of my foot is never going to be quite the same, and I have to get used to that and figure out how to work around that. And that was disclosed, and nothing.
Yeah, I guess we'll just have to say, I mean, maybe they haven't seen anything different to cause any concern or alarm or question. And we said that when we discussed it. And if that's the case, that's what we had hoped for. We want him to be the same. We want him to have the same speed. We want him to break the routes the same way. We want him to be as effective as he was at the start of the season last year before any injuries kind of derailed his year. And if that's what they're seeing, then great. But if that's not the case, it is something important to keep an eye on. And yet I was surprised that not one person followed up and asked the question.
Not a single follow-up. You're just going to take the team's word for it. We are going to absolutely, to this point, establish, well, whatever the team says, it's got to be true. Well, that's not how I was taught. I was taught very, very, very differently that never assume that the people you cover, whether it's a team, whether it's a school board meeting, never, ever, ever assume that somebody is telling you the truth. Always try to get more evidence, more answers, more reason for them to back up some of the things that are said. And to say you can say, oh, it's fine, it's a nothing. I don't believe you. Just like I said when I said I didn't believe you that Kevin White was okay. Well, he had a broken leg and his career was over. And just like we didn't believe the Bears when they said the same things about David Terrell. Oh, it's fine. His foot, he'll recover fine. It's fine. Okay, well, he's out of football.
Oh, that's what I forgot. I forgot to look up because I asked you yesterday about Allen Robinson. His career kind of came to a slower end because of foot injuries.
Mm-hmm.
And he had broken a bone in his foot, broken bones in his foot.
Yeah, I
forgot to look it all up and get the full details of it. But I know that his career came to an end based on dealing with foot injuries as well.
Yes, that's how a lot of sports careers come to an end, and a lot of Bears wide receiver careers. But this, no big deal. Don't bother. Come on, man. Follow up. We need to know. Hey, Coach, Rome said he's never going to quite be the same. Last time we followed up on a Chicago athlete saying he wasn't going to be the same again, it was Jaden Ivey. And the next thing you know, you blink your eyes and the guy's spouting his religious gobbledygook on a literal street corner.
Yeah.
I don't think it's going to happen with Rome Odunze.
No, it's not. I mean, but we'll see how it plays out and see if there's more commentary or thought from what people see in Rome in action in minicamp. But was looking also yesterday at what Courtney Cronin had to say about the first day of camp. And she mentioned Montez Sweat kind of chasing Caleb Williams around the field. Lots of praise, more than just from Courtney Cronin, about Jaylon Johnson apparently having himself quite the day yesterday. It was all over the place.
At Caleb's expense? It's funny how the narrative shifted, because were this last year, it would be Caleb Williams throws 2 interceptions. And this year it's Jaylon Johnson looked really good. He picked off 2 passes. Who threw them? I guess that's not an issue anymore.
It's not an issue.
The way that we just sort of make up practice context and training camp context, it's completely arbitrary, because this would have been a panic. 2 interceptions? What's wrong with him? Where's the learning curve? Why isn't Ben Johnson all over him? Put in Tyson Bagent.
Well, don't forget the pass breakup he also had. So 2 interceptions and a pass breakup.
Wow. Okay, but it doesn't matter who threw it. Okay.
So more than just Courtney, I saw people made comments about Jaylon Johnson being all over the field.
Good.
She also says that speaking of Jaylon Johnson, Burden and Johnson one-on-ones are going to be something to watch in training camp. Good to see TJ Edwards back on team drills for the first time this offseason. Tyreek Stevenson, DeMarco Jackson got banged up and left practice early. Colson Loveland, Kalif Raymond, they shined during team period. Did not see the following: Kyler Gordon, Anthony Johnson Jr., Britton Brown, Noah Sewell, Ruben Hippolyte, Keyshawn Elliott, Jedrick Willis Jr., Ozzie Trapillo, of course, Neville Gallimore, Shemar Turner, and James Lynch. Of that list, Shemar Turner jumped out at me. Apparently has an ankle injury he's dealing with, so couldn't be out there on the field. Don't know the severity of that. That was not something I wanted to see in the notes after day 1 of mandatory minicamp. We'll see if he's out there today, or if he misses today and tomorrow as well with some ankle injury that he suffered during some previous session, it was said.
Mm-hmm.
So speaking of Kalif Raymond, though, Ben Johnson said this about the veteran wide receiver. He says, I do have a history with Kalif. You wouldn't know looking at him right now that he's 31 going on 32. He's got this vertical push to his game where he comes raging off the football. And if you're a DB, you can't help but back up. That carries over with the routes he runs. It's been really good for our route runners to see, because it's really what we want to see across the board. He's been exactly what we hoped for when he came into the building.
Okay.
Yeah, okay. I mean, that's kind of not what I wanted to see, though, about a 31, 32-year-old veteran guy coming into your system, coming into your building. I don't know. I mean, I don't want him teaching or to be the example. I mean, I don't know. I don't know.
No, we need people who are going to score touchdowns in playoff games.
It just didn't sit. It just didn't sit right. I don't
know. And then you pick up the Trib, and there's this huge article by Brad Biggs all about how Kalif Raymond is going to transform what they do. And I'm like, no.
Yeah.
I don't agree. I don't really think he's a transformational player. I think Kalif Raymond is a guy. And I'm not saying you don't need guys. Of course you need guys. But who was the other guy? Scotty Miller, the guy from Tampa?
Yeah, I that's just what I think. Maybe that's verbalizing it correctly, that he's just a guy, and I thought he was just coming in as a guy.
He's a guy.
And I wouldn't expect a guy to have such a significant impact, especially on like showing guys how to run routes. I don't know. It sounds.
He's not a coach. He's not. Stop talking about players like coaches. The same with Alex Bregman and all this. I remember when the Cubs brought Greg Maddux back, and he hated all. Like, don't talk to me about being a de facto pitching coach. I'm here to pitch. I'm not here to coach. Like, before an interview, he'd be like, don't even ask me one question about that. Hated that. This whole lead by example thing. He's a guy. Most people never heard a 32-year-old journeyman fourth wideout guy. And all of a sudden he's going to be transformational for the Bears? No.
Yeah, I don't get it. And it's just, that's not what I want. It's not what I want to see or read.
Well, there is a lot of space devoted to the Bears, as we know. Believe me, we know.
Oh, I know. I mean, shit, we do stuff, so I get it. Yeah.
So I mean, I'm not going to go down too strongly on that.
Yeah.
I will say that if there is a storyline or a theme that is continuing to gnaw at me, it is everybody reinforcing the defensive front seven is going to be better because it's going to be better, and people have said it's going to be better, therefore that is gospel.
Yeah.
Like, again, it's another one of these situations. I don't care what they say. I don't believe you when you say we're going to coach them better. We're going to coach them harder. We're bringing back the same players. They're just going to be better. Why? How? Why should I believe you? Based on what? Who's done that before? If you are expecting Austin Booker to have 9 or 10 sacks, why? If you expect Gervon Dexter to be better, really, why? What's going to be different? How is it going to be different? And if it's all going to be different, why didn't you do it earlier? Because here's Gervon Dexter again yesterday. He's saying the same things. I'm really going to concentrate on this. And I know that this matters. And this is a year for me to grow. I can help the team win. How many crucial seasons does one guy get before he's out of crucial seasons, defining seasons? This is the big step up season for him. And eventually when you turn on a game on a Thursday and he's playing for the Saints and you wonder like, oh yeah, wasn't he the guy in the Bears that had like 6 seasons that all of them were deemed crucial to his development?
Well, also too, what does that do to your coaching staff? Like if these guys don't take these necessary steps that they're telling us they're going to take because they're going to coach them better, coach them differently, if they don't take those steps, is it because the player's not good enough or the coaches aren't good enough? Where the changes come then?
And why?
And we'll bring in new guys, and these new guys, the coaches will be able to coach them up the right way because they're different, and it's got nothing to do with the coaching. It's just the players. So then maybe you never had the player in the first place.
But why weren't you doing that before? Like, how does it take lack of performance or underperformance to be like, hold on a second, now we're going to coach him?
But Dan, that's the whole point, though. If it doesn't work out that way, you can't ask why weren't you doing it before, because apparently they didn't know how to do it, and they weren't doing it when they really said they were going to do it. So now it's like it's all on the coaching staff.
Here's
the coaching staff does not a coach.
Here's Dexter. I felt like I needed to improve the start of the down, going back and looking at it, whether that's get off, whether that's starting all the way from the stance. That's what I noticed. You've got to be in an attacking stance to attack. In our D line, we don't like to say read. You can't be in no read stance if you want to attack. So it's about getting that attack stance and getting out of it. We're just learning this now?
Yeah, I wouldn't think that that's something you couldn't work on during a practice, during one of the games.
What took all the time? Like we got to get around to this now. It's your stance. Come on. It all seems like they decided on this. Like, here's the deal. We're bringing everybody back. We know you were bad, but we're going to expect you to be better. And now that is the marching order, everything is being retconned to fit that now. Now you're going back and finding things that you can do differently.
Well, your defense will be better because you have better safeties. You've added a young rookie cornerback who's going to compete for a job as well too. Jaylon Johnson is back to being great in one day of mandatory minicamp. So if they're better on the back end, Dan, they'll be better on the front end.
Hold on to the ball longer, right? That's what Paul said. Hold on to the ball longer. And then there was this note also from the Trib. And this is when we're talking about the arbitrary context of training camp outcomes, where you're allowed to define everything however you want. The Bears are playing the Bears. You can take the good, you can take the bad. And there you have
take them both, and there you have, the facts of life.
Because it says here on Jaylon Johnson's, the first of 2 picks, Caleb Williams heaved the ball to Kalif Raymond, but it appeared they weren't on the same page.
Ooh.
Was that a pass that got away from Williams, who later threw a dart to Raymond, or a miscommunication? Raymond said that type of stuff just comes with work, practice, and repetition, so it's hard to say. It's early right now. It's hard to pinpoint a lot of this stuff, but that's what you have camp for. That's what you have the extra reps after practice for. We've been talking about a few routes now, just how he envisions it. So that was one of the Jaylon Johnson picks with which you led this episode. And here it's under the headline, work continues on Caleb Williams' accuracy. All right. You know what I mean? Like that, it's perfect. It just encapsulates everything perfectly here.
Yeah.
That the Bears are in shorts and T-shirts, and they're playing against other Chicago Bears. So none of what you're seeing is gospel right now. It's just observations of Bears against Bears, and there's going to be some good and some bad.
I mean, you could even take it one step further, and anything you're seeing here right now is kind of meaningless.
Careful. You're getting very, very close to telling the truth.
Oh, okay. Well, we don't want to do that.
Careful.
Yeah, like until you have pads on and you're hitting. Like this, it's just like, so what? So what?
Okay.
I don't know. All right.
I'm still, believe me, I'm still excited about this Bears team. I'm just
of course.
But it doesn't mean that we throw out our skepticism, our criticism, our curiosity, and our responsibility to find out if any of this stuff that they say is actually true.
Right. And particularly the fact that they didn't do anything to address the glaring weakness on the defense. And it's not just us saying that. It's everyone saying it except the Bears and Kevin Warren. Hey, your guy, Todd Monken for the Cleveland Browns. No, why is it got to be negative?
You're about to say bad things about my guy, Todd Monken, because there's going to be a joke about him getting his haircut under the bridge and missing the coach's photo.
Well, I
went to get my haircut for the coach's photo, and I was getting my haircut, and I missed the coach's photo. Is that irony?
Yes. Well, the troll was busy, so he had to wait. He's most likely he is not going to name a starting quarterback at the conclusion of minicamp. I guess his goal was to name a starting quarterback by Thursday, which is tomorrow.
Well, he's the coach; he can name one whenever he wants.
But he feels like he might not be able to. Once we get to the fall, we'll have to dissect the reps how we see fit. I just don't see it after the way Shedeur has played and Deshaun's played. They both played well enough to earn the right to compete to start.
Earn the right to compete. Being on the roster gives you the right to compete.
I would have hoped to name a starter, but I like both of them. I don't know what to say. It's really as simple as that. I like both of them, and we haven't had the pads on. That's the hard thing. As much as I'd like to make that decision, either by someone separating themselves upward or downward, either way, which has not occurred, and we haven't even gotten to practicing against an opponent, putting pads on, having a controlled scrimmage, or playing preseason games. I'm not there yet. That's the reality of it.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. I guess what he's telling, when I'm damn well ready, I'm going to tell you.
But how dare he need to see them in pads against an opponent and hitting and real calls and real defense? How dare he?
Wait, did he just
see that?
Did he just come very close to telling the truth?
He did. Yes.
I can't tell you anything. You tell me. I don't know what's going on out there. You watch them.
Right. They're in shorts and a t-shirt throwing footballs around.
Right. They're just it's a walkthrough. What do you want?
They both look great, as well as they should both look great. Nothing's happening, Todd.
Okay.
But to set up I was hoping to name a starter by Thursday. Based on what?
I was hoping to see more from them running around in this. Not like how many training camps you've been to, how many OTAs you've been to.
Right. Come on, Todd.
You know, Todd.
Buddy.
Todd.
Your guy. Is he still your favorite?
I've committed to it.
So he's still the first guy getting fired.
Yeah, I know you think it's Mike LaFleur.
I'm going to go with Mike LaFleur. Yes.
The other LaFleur.
Yes, the other guy. All right. You stay with it.
Okay. I'll take Todd Monken. I think he's too honest for his own good. And I'm getting Vic Fangio vibes from him.
Yeah, it might go that route. I hope you're wrong, because I like him.
I like him too. I'm just getting Vic Fangio vibes, where he's going to realize what he got himself into. And he's going to be like Vic, one of these guys who just doesn't want to bother with being a head coach. Like, you think your whole life you're supposed to go, and maybe he just wanted to say, I want to try it. I want to see if I can do it. And then I'm going to go back to what I really am meant to do. And that is just coordinate offenses. And there's nothing wrong with that. That some people love doing that, and it's what they should do, and they spend their whole lives doing it, and it's fine. And you want to be Dick LeBeau, or you want to be one of these longtime guys. That's good. But it's like, oh, I tried head coaching. This is a pain in my ass. I don't like. I just don't think he's got the ability to deal with and also produce a lot of the bullshit that coaches have to produce.
Yeah, he seems like he just doesn't want to be involved or participate in that
right
stuff.
That's
I mean, that's what I feel about Dennis Allen too.
That's the vibe I get. Well, Dennis Allen also was bad at it. So
I know, but he gives me the vibe too. He's not interested in doing all the stuff that's required as a head coach. Where Ben Johnson seems to at least put on a good face to seem like he enjoys it.
Oh no, Ben Johnson loves talking to the media. He likes talking. Not a lot of these guys do.
Yeah, I don't think
certainly your guy Mike Vrabel. And Awful Announcing posted a very interesting piece where they talked to a crisis PR expert just about, and the word she said, this is a disaster.
Yeah.
And what they've chosen to do so far with the complete lack of accountability and the entirely performative public steps that Mike Vrabel has been taking while saying in this piece, she noted that he keeps saying, well, I've had all kinds of private conversations. That's not accountability. Admitting you did something wrong and admitting you need to change because you failed in a way, you did something wrong, is part of accountability. Believe me, I learned a lot of this stuff. And it's understanding that it's not just a one-time thing, that knowing you have to be accountable and keeping yourself accountable and knowing when you screw up and confronting those things is part of growing. It's part of improving. Hell, I was talking about it with my therapist yesterday. Had a great therapy session yesterday. Came out of it and I never know where that plane's going to land. Came out of that hour really, really feeling good. And I just, if you're curious about therapy or you're worried about it, again, it's medicine and it is sometimes irreplaceable. It's just as important as your regular physical checkups or going to the doctor, and to articulate some of the strengthening feeling and the liberating feeling of finding things in therapy, unearthing things or connecting things. Like, oh, if I responded that way, where it looks like I'm responding because of this, but it's not. But I'm actually responding because of something ancient and that has nothing to do with it, but it's coloring why I respond that way to this particular stimulus. And they're like, oh, and it is so liberating and so interesting to have a professional who is smarter than you are and better trained than you are tell you why you think certain things and how you react certain ways, and then give you tools for how to change that behavior. It's fabulous. And so I get it when somebody from the outside can say, all Mike Vrabel has to do is just be a little vulnerable. And everybody would lap it up. It's okay to cheat on your wife. If you're a coach, you don't get fired for that. It's not some sort of mala in se, a horrible crime in and of itself. It's not, no one's going to fire you for it. Just be a little vulnerable because no one's buying this.
Right. But here's what I don't understand about that piece too, and about her comments. And I don't disagree with anything you said. I don't disagree with what she said. But what would Mike Vrabel need to do behind a microphone to show that he's being accountable? Because for me, there's two sides of it, Dan. There's the personal side with his wife, which he doesn't need to do in front of a microphone for me. He doesn't need to do it publicly for anyone. He needs to do that for his wife and his family. And maybe he's done that. Maybe he's doing that, and maybe that they're in a better place and working towards something better. And as a husband, he's on a path of becoming the best version of himself as a husband.
Why? Why is he becoming the best? He hasn't admitted to anything.
But again, because he doesn't need to do that publicly, though. He doesn't need to do it publicly. That's for his wife and his family in his home. The football side of it, he's never going to do because no one's going to hold him accountable because the NFL doesn't give a fuck what happened between him and Diana Rossini.
I just think his saying, he literally said, I take accountability for my actions and the actions that caused a distraction to the people I care most about. What accountability? And I think the more important point that was made in that piece is what I was trying to say earlier, the idea of being accountable can't just be about this. It can't just be because you got caught.
Mm-hmm.
It can't just be, I misstepped, I made a mistake, I acted badly, and therefore I'm now accountable for that. Now let's get back to this, and I can get back to all the stuff and be. It isn't. It's a change. It's hard. It's really hard. But it has to be an actual change and not a performative one. And when somebody says, I'm accountable, I'm being accountable. It's like Jerry Lundegaard in Fargo saying, I'm cooperating with the interview. I'm answering your questions. I'm cooperating with the interview. That's what it sounds like to me.
Yeah, and I get that. And again, you're not wrong on that, but what the change he needs to make is something that we don't need to see because it's not part of our lives.
Well, I'm wondering
he doesn't need to show me or Patriots fans the changes he's making in his own life within his marriage for his wife. That's for them, for his home, for their marriage. Dan, it's the business side of the NFL thing that we're never going to be satisfied with this because the NFL just flat out doesn't care because they know already who else was impacted, involved, where this goes, or they don't know and they don't want to find out. That's why we're never going to be satisfied with the business side of it as far as the football is concerned.
Well, if and when, more likely when, her tell-all drops.
That's the only thing I'm going to say. That is going to be the bombshell, possibly, that the NFL should be smarter than and say, we need to get out in front of this.
Mm-hmm. Because
we can't let this happen to us. We need to be proactive.
That's coming. That's coming.
I think that's going to happen. I think she's going to open up to someone somewhere and tell the story and tell everything. And it's going to do more damage to the NFL because the NFL is staying quiet and hoping it all goes away like Mike Vrabel does.
Until there is that kind of transparency, it's just going to remain a question. And he just comes off as something less than real. I don't know if it works internally. I don't know if it matters internally, but it feels unresolved.
Yeah, I hear you. And I think the NFL and the powers that be and the billions of dollars that are involved, I wouldn't put it past the NFL doing something to negotiate, navigate a path for her to end up somewhere in a soft landing with some type of job or finances where that tell-all thing doesn't happen. Because Dan, there's enough out there on social media, online, from other NFL people saying there are things that have happened. That woman that was the reporter fired from USA Today, Chrissy.
Oh, yes. She's trying to make the most of this. Yeah.
I know she is, but she's also sharing, hey, that there are other people out there too. So I either that's going to come out and the NFL is going to be made worse for it because they didn't do anything, or it's going to stay hidden and covered up and just be a little blip of noise somewhere from a fired USA Today reporter. Because something's going to happen that's going to navigate a really easy path for Diana Rossini to not do that.
So you think eventually they're going to buy her off somehow and say, in exchange for not embarrassing the league, we're going to set you up with something?
Possibly. I mean, that wouldn't surprise me. Would that surprise you? With the billions of dollars that are there? Because I mean, that's and really at the end of the day, though, if it does come out and she says, yeah, I did this, I influenced this vote, I did that for Mike, I did that for the Patriots, I did this. Is it going to bring down the NFL? No. Is it going to look bad on the NFL for a while? Yeah. Are people going to stop watching the NFL? No. Are college kids going to say, I don't want to go play for that league now? No. I mean, at the end of the day, what's it really going to do?
Right. Well, it's unless there's stuff that we don't even know that she's got about their relationship and what she would share about her meteoric rise and how that was fueled by some insider stuff that may affect the competitive balance. That would be the real wild card. Is there anything that was going on in the reporting of things that changed NFL balance of power because of a sexual liaison?
Yeah, and I don't think the NFL really cares, because if they did care, they'd be doing something about it, and they're not. They don't even seem interested in looking into it. That's between Mike and his wife, and we're going to move on and play football now.
Could be.
And anybody else who has questions should just do the same. Move on.
Well, there are those of us who are allergic to being told to move on.
Yeah, I know. Oh no, I get it. I get it. And I'm right with you. I mean, I would love for the NFL to investigate and understand what areas of NFL business their relationship impacted. I'd like to know that.
Mm-hmm.
And because I'd like to know the truth, and I'm curious to know the truth. Tell the truth. I'm curious about that.
Truth.
And even if it comes out and it's like, oh God, it influenced this trade or that or this season or that, I'm not going to not watch.
Yeah, it's not some wound from which the NFL can't recover.
Correct.
Which is all the more reason.
It's all the more reason to do it.
All the more reason to just,
because you're not going to take down the NFL because of it.
Right.
Just get it out there.
Say the stuff. Tell people what it was. Let everybody say, "Oh, it was that. It was that. It was that." Okay, fine. It's not that big a deal. Now we know, and we'll move on.
Or let people make their own decision. Yes.
It also takes away her power too, where if Mike Vrabel and his relationship he feels he's got the sword of Damocles held by a thread over his head, the one way you strip that power that she's got, you take away her whole payday. If you say, here's my side, here's what really happened, here's what we did, here's when we started in together, and it was it was a hot fling for a long time, a big side thing, and whatever you want to talk about, share it, and then you don't have to worry about anything. That just immediately negates all of your concern about what's she going to say, who's she going to sell it to, is it going to be dribs and drabs and episodes of some reality podcast, or however it could be done, however she's going to monetize it.
You're right on that. And maybe, I mean, it's a fair point to make and ask, why doesn't he just do that?
Yeah, well, here you go. Here's what happened.
Maybe he knows
here's what happened
that was done.
But he could say, but the real growth, all the stuff about accountability and counseling, and if you want it to be real, instead of going to your wiener counseling to say, well, I'm really going to be talking about the draft, but I'm going to miss a day of the draft because this is important and the whole thing, and keep dragging your whole family through it. You can keep doing the performative stuff, or you can say, here's what really happened. Here are the mistakes that I made. Here's what I didn't understand. Here's how I need to grow. Here's how I'm going to be different. Break. Let's play football.
Yeah. No, you're right.
Okay.
I see that.
I just think it's that there's freedom in that. There's so much freedom in the vulnerability. There's some
and but on again, the home, there's two sides of it, the NFL side, the home side. And if he's done that, genuinely has done that at home, that is a level of freedom and relief that he is already experiencing. And the rest of the stuff, the NFL stuff, just pales. If he's being honest about the love for his wife and his family and wanting that to move forward and continue on, then the relief he's feeling by being vulnerable and accountable, if he's done that at home, all the rest of the stuff just pales in comparison, and it's meaningless to him.
Maybe.
Yeah.
Maybe. All right, Bears are heading out to the practice field once again, and then we can root for the defense to be good, and that means the offense is bad, or the offense is good, and that means the defense is bad. But no matter what, everything will be fine in the world of the Bears, because everything's fine in the world of the Bears until the games start. Okay. I guess they've identified what's wrong with Gervon Dexter, and Kalif Raymond is here to save everything.
And make everything better.
Oh, everything's going to be awesome because they have a 32-year-old journeyman fourth wide receiver on their team.
So, yeah, we'll get
and don't ask about Rome Odunze and his remodeled foot that he has to figure out how to use again, because wide receivers can just run on their hands and they don't need feet.
Well, we'll see. We'll see if anyone asked today if it's
maybe get around to it. Maybe just say, hey,
or I would like to maybe hear, some thoughts about how he looked on the field. Mm-hmm. That would be maybe helpful.
Good idea. Like, observe what he actually does.
Yeah.
That'd be nice. And that is Forward Progress, a Chicago Bears podcast on 312 Sports.
Forward progress has stopped. 10, 219, 219.
Forward Progress. A Chicago Bears podcast with Dan Bernstein and Matt Abbatacola on 312 Sports.